Imagine being born in a place where everything is stacked against you, where every single day is a struggle just to survive, and success feels out of reach. Today, we're telling the story of one person who, despite all odds, managed to change his life.
This isn't just a story of hardships. It's about people who found light in the darkest of times. It's about how the desire to break free from poverty and achieve success can become the only driving force.
This is the story of James. James was born in one of the toughest neighborhoods in the city. From the very start, he knew the world wasn't going to be kind to him.
James was the only child in a single-parent home. His mom worked 3 jobs, barely managing to make ends meet. His father left when James was just 5 years old, leaving behind a void that his mom couldn't fill. But despite everything, his mother never stopped fighting for him. Every day, she would tell James that the world might be harsh, but if he worked hard enough, he could rise above it.
They lived in an old, dilapidated house in a neighborhood known for its crime and poverty. James didn't have the luxuries most kids took for granted. He wore hand-me-down clothes, and he rarely had enough money for lunch at school.
Most days, James would sit by himself in the school cafeteria, watching as other kids chatted, laughing about their weekend plans, while he quietly nursed his empty stomach. It was hard not to feel invisible, but that loneliness pushed him to think differently. He dreamed of a better life, a life where he didn't have to struggle, a life where he could help his mother out of poverty.
But it wasn't just the poverty that held James back. There was a world outside, a system that often seemed stacked against him. His schoolmates made fun of him for not having the latest gadgets, for being different. They didn't understand why he couldn't afford the things they took for granted. And it wasn't just kids at school. Society at large looked at him and saw only his circumstances, not his potential.
James realized early on that in order to break free from his circumstances, he'd have to fight, not just against the world, but against himself. Every day was a battle, but that determination, that unshakable belief that he could make something of himself kept him going.
One day, while walking home from school, James found himself in a situation he hadn't expected. A wealthy-looking businessman, Mr. Harris, stopped him on the street. Mr. Harris was an older man, impeccably dressed, and seemed like he was from an entirely different world.
Mr. Harris had a reputation around town as a successful entrepreneur. He was known for his philanthropy, but to James, he was just a stranger. So when Mr. Harris approached him with an offer, James was skeptical.
"What do you want from me?" James asked. "I'm not someone who can help you get rich if that's what you're looking for."
But Mr. Harris smiled and said, "I'm not looking for wealth. I'm looking for someone who believes in themselves." He offered James a job working as an assistant in his office. "It's not much, but it's a start," he said.
James couldn't believe his ears. He had never been offered an opportunity like this before. Someone, a total stranger, was offering to help him. He didn't know how to react. Should he trust Mr. Harris? Was this real?
For weeks, James debated whether or not to take the job. His pride made him hesitant, but his need for a chance to escape his circumstances was stronger. Finally, he agreed.
And that was the first step of many. James started working at Mr. Harris's office. He wasn't doing anything glamorous, just paperwork, running errands, basic office tasks. But he was learning. He was watching. observing how Mr. Harris ran his business, how he interacted with people, how he made decisions.
Mr. Harris didn't treat James like an employee. He treated him like a mentee. He shared his experiences, told stories of how he got to where he was, and most importantly, he believed in James when no one else did.
Slowly, James started to change. His confidence grew, and so did his skills. He started taking on more responsibility at work, asking questions, learning, making mistakes, but also improving. It was a grind, but James was determined to make the most of this second chance. As time passed, James's dedication started to pay off. Mr. Harris trusted him more, giving him more challenging tasks. James's ability to solve problems, his persistence, and his willingness to learn impressed everyone in the office.
One day, Mr. Harris called him into his office and said, "I think it's time we talk about your future." James was nervous, but excited. He didn't know what to expect.
Mr. Harris sat him down and said, "James, you've got something special. You've shown me that you're not afraid of hard work, that you have what it takes to succeed. So, I want to offer you a real position in my company."
That was the moment James knew his life was about to change forever. It wasn't just about getting a job. It was about proving to himself that he was capable of more than he ever thought.
Years went by, and James didn't stop. He went on to become an entrepreneur in his own right, using the skills Mr. Harris taught him. He built a business that was grounded in helping others, just like he had been helped.
But James never forgot where he came from. He made it his mission to give back, to offer others the same chance that he had been given. He mentored young people from his old neighborhood, offering them jobs and a path out of poverty.
James's story is more than just about overcoming hardship. It's about never giving up, even when the world tells you it's impossible.
And it's about the power of belief in yourself and in others. Because sometimes, all it takes is one person to see something in you that you can't see yourself.
So remember, no matter how tough things get, there's always a way out. And it might just take someone believing in you to help you find your path.
So, are you ready for your second chance?